This key right here, this is 40 years old. It's made of steel. It costs $5 to cut, and it'll start this truck every single morning for the next 50 years. Rain, snow, 40 below, it doesn't matter. This key right here, this is a subscription model waiting to happen. Last week, I showed you how John Deere won the right to repair fight, and why a court settlement that looks like a farmer's victory is actually a surrender. Today, we're staying a little bit closer to the ranch. 2 trucks, same ranch work, 40 years in between them. Now, one of them will live on this ranch long after I'm gone. The other one, if I'm lucky, I'll get 15 years out of it before it becomes an expensive, useless pile of steel and aluminum. This is the end of ownership, and it's already in your driveway, or in my case, on the ranch. All right, let's be serious about new trucks for a moment. That F450 is absolutely extraordinary, and I'm not going to pretend that it isn't. You climb in, you push a button, and you tow 36,000 pounds like you're driving a Cadillac. But that comes with a trade-off. Now, the 1985? Power windows, power locks, cruise control, which in 1985 was genuinely impressive. But that's where the electronics stop. Everything else is mechanical, it's adjustable, it's knowable, and it's fixable with a wrench, a manual, and on a weekend. Here's the difference that matters. When the F250 breaks, I can fix it. When the F450 breaks, I wait. Now with the F450, so much of that truck under the hood can't be worked on without pulling the entire truck cab off of the frame. That's not something that you can do at home very easily. Okay, this is an infuriating story, but it does have a surprise ending. So let me tell you about a friend of mine. He ranches to the east of me a few hours. And when I sold him my 2013 F450, it was just outside all of its factory warranties. Now, less than 30 days after I dropped it off with him, he had trouble with it and his phone rings. It's the dealer. The DEF system threw a warning. That's the diesel exhaust fluid system. Now, not necessarily a small component in these new trucks, but it's definitely a big problem. It was $10,000. Then, a few weeks later, the turbo goes out. The dealer comes and gets it again. But here's the surprise that I didn't even expect. One of the dealership technicians, after they'd fixed the turbo, decided to test that repaired turbo by hot rodding an 11,000-pound truck in the snow and ice, and he rolled it in a ditch. Now imagine for a moment what it takes to turn an 11,000-pound dually upside down in a ditch. Now the technician fortunately walked away just fine, but obviously the truck did not. Now the good news, insurance totaled the truck, and my friend negotiated pretty hard, and he walked away with a brand new F450. Now that story has a happy ending, but most other repair stories like this, they don't. All right, now the electronics in this truck, they are the product. More than the steel and the aluminum, more than the engine, more than the drivetrain, the software is this truck. And when the software is the truck, the software controls your relationship with the truck. Now, Ford spent $4.8 billion on warranty repairs in 2023. $4.8 billion. Now, they publicly acknowledged a quality problem. Even the CEO promised to fix it, and that was in 2023. Now, in 2025, Ford set an all-time record in the history of the American automobile industry. 153 recalls for a single year. Now, Ford is going to tell you that this is a transparency issue, that they're catching problems far earlier, more software audits, and expanded safety teams. Well, maybe there's some truth there. Or maybe when software controls everything from your instrument cluster to your trailer brakes, a single line of bad code affects 1 million trucks at once. Because here's the number that they don't put in the press release. In 2024, 46% of all recalled vehicles out of 28.9 million were recalled because of a software problem. Obviously, that's a big deal, and that's up from 14% in 2023. Now, in 2024, the number of software-related recall campaigns surged 80% over the previous year. Now, this isn't a quality control problem. This is a structural problem. When you build a truck that runs on software, that requires software to function, you've built a truck that can fail in ways that no mechanic can touch. Now, the 1985 F250 cannot have a software recall. There's nothing to recall. Obviously, I don't regret having a nice truck that tows, going cross country. hauling horses. But I'll tell you what, it is frustrating when errors do get thrown, and you got to take these down to the dealership and have them look at it. And there is something comforting about having the F-250 that's in front of me right now, that you don't worry about that, right? Even if the whole world went to hell, the F-250 is going to be running. This F-450 is not the truck that you can really rely on. All right, now here's where it gets interesting. Ford and most major automakers switched from petroleum-based wiring insulation to a soy-based installation years ago. Cheaper to produce, better for the environment, and those are both real benefits. The problem is that rodents love it. That soy-based coating is a preferred chewing material. It's warm, it's hidden, it's available in endless supply inside of an engine compartment. Now, class action lawsuits have been filed against multiple manufacturers, Toyota, Honda, Ford, claiming that this is a design defect that can cause vehicles to stop on the highway, shut down, or become partially inoperable. Now, the manufacturers, they deny it, and the courts haven't settled it yet, but here's what I know from this ranch. I have parked old trucks in the same spot for more than a decade. No wire damage. One winter with a modern truck, and mice are surviving off of the wiring insulation, destroying a $90,000 truck. Now you tell me what that means, because personally, I don't think it's an accident. This is part of the planned obsolescence. It keeps newer trucks like this from ever becoming 100-year-old ranch trucks. Why do I keep the F-250? Well, I think it's pretty obvious. Now I know she's a little rough. She can be a little rough to start in the cold even, and she doesn't have any of the technology that makes the F-450 what it is. But she goes places on this ranch that the F-450 won't go. She gets fixed when she breaks by me with parts that I can order or grab from a junkyard anywhere from suppliers who've been making them for 40 years. She doesn't require a dealer visit. She doesn't have a DEF system that can brick in the cold. She doesn't even have over-the-air updates to function. She just runs. The F-450 has a projected lifespan based on real-world reliability data of about 11 to 12 years for an average driver. Keep up the maintenance, push it hard, maybe 15 to 20 years. The engine itself can hit 500,000 miles if you treat it right. But the truck is not just the engine anymore. One corrupted module, one discontinued computer component, one system that Ford decides it won't support with parts or updates anymore, and the engine doesn't matter. Now the 1985 F-250, it'll be running on this ranch in 2075. The parts exist, the knowledge exists, the community of people who know how to work on them exists. I don't know where the F-450 will be in 2075, to be honest, and I don't think Ford does either. John Deere locked farmers out of their own tractors, and we covered that. Ford is building trucks that require a dealer's permission to fully function. Trucks with wiring that is destroyed by the very environment that they're designed to work in. Trucks that generate recalls at a pace that would have been unthinkable 10 years ago. The technology is real, the convenience is absolutely real, and if I'm being honest, I use the F-450 every single day, and I'm glad that I have it. But ownership means something. It means that the thing that we bought, it works because we make it work, not because of a company with a server farm somewhere decided it should. That's not what you're buying anymore. When you write that check, you're buying access. Access to own your truck on their schedule and on their terms. 40-year-old key starts every time, no permission required.